Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Wisdom in the Best Books and Films, where we find bite-sized nuggets of truth and use them to become better people. I'm Jake Bear, the host, and this week we are going to continue our King Arthur Pendragon Cycle themed series. We are going to still be in book 1 of the Pendragon Cycle, which is called Taliesin. This quote that we are going to go through today is not actually directly in the show that is coming out soon. At least it's not in the first 2 episodes. If they did it, it would have to be a flashback. Timeline wise, it would definitely be in the first episode, and they kind of hint at this part of the story in the show. But in the book, basically, this is when the character Karis is trying to help the people of Atlantis escape during a natural disaster that is going to wipe the island of Atlantis off the earth, sink it beneath the sea. This week, the actual TV show does come out for everybody, so you don't have to be a Daily Wire all-access subscriber. I do think you still have to be a subscriber. I don't really know how they're releasing it, but it is a really good show. I've watched the first 2 episodes and enjoyed it thoroughly, especially if you have read the books. Very much worth the watch. As usual, if you enjoy the episode, please leave a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever it is that you listen to these podcasts, and please share the show with friends and family. This episode is called Save Who You Can. Sometimes trying to do good and failing can be difficult. Sometimes the free will of those around us can be frustrating when they make mistakes and we can see them coming a mile away from our outside perspective. It can be tempting to give up on loved ones or friends who repeatedly make dumb choices. Some might even start to think that the poor choices of others are what define them and say or think, "Good riddance." In Chapter 6 of Taliesin, Book 1 of the Pendragon Cycle by Stephen R. Lawhead, one of the main characters, Karis, learns through prophetic portent that the island of Atlantis will soon be sunk beneath the ocean. She tries to convince her people to leave the island on ships, but has an extremely difficult time getting anyone to listen. So she has a discussion with her friend Anubi, who also has seen the end of Atlantis, but has given up any hope of saving people. Quote, "People forget what they do not wish to remember. They refuse to believe disaster can ever invade their tight little lives. That is why they will not listen to you or Throm or anyone else who tries to warn them." "But we must try," insisted Karis. "We must try to make them understand." "Why?" "Because we have to save as many lives as we can, because we can survive." Anubi shook his head slowly. "No, Karis," he said softly. "Our time is finished. It is the way of things. A new age is upon the world, and we have no place in it. The center will shift once more, as it always does, and Atlantis will vanish beneath the waves." End quote. So here Anubi is ready to give up on their people. He allows their stubbornness to be what defines them in his eyes. But Karis sees the importance of helping anyone who will listen to survive, and not giving up until the last possible moment. C.S. Lewis also understood the deep importance of every individual human soul. In The Weight of Glory, he states, "It is a serious thing to live in a society of possible gods and goddesses, to remember that the dullest, most uninteresting person you can talk to may one day be a creature which, if you saw it now, you would be strongly tempted to worship, or else a horror and a corruption such as you meet now, if at all, only in a nightmare. All day long we are, in some degree, helping each other to one or the other of these destinations. It is in the light of these overwhelming possibilities, it is with the awe and the circumspection proper, that we should conduct all of our dealings with one another. All friendships, all loves, all play, all politics. There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal. Nations, cultures, arts, civilizations, These are mortal, and their life is to ours as the life of a gnat. But it is immortals with whom we joke, work, marry, snub, and exploit. Immortal horrors or everlasting splendors." End quote. So it is our responsibility to do everything we can to help people reach that grand divine potential described by Lewis. We show our understanding of the worth of their souls when we continually try to love them and lead them to truth with patience and charity, just as Charis does in Taliesin with her people. She saves all the people she can, though some choose not to follow her. She does this because she sees that each individual is important. She sees that through their stubbornness, through their sin. And she treats them with love as long as they are in her circle of influence. With her dedication, many are saved, while with his despondency, a newbie slowly loses even his own soul. That is the end of this week's episode. I hope, as usual, you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a review and share it. I really do appreciate everybody who shares the show with others. That is the only way that it grows. We'll see you next week when we will be doing one of my very favorite King Arthur themed short stories, which is going to be an excerpt out of The Once and Future King. That's it for today. I hope you all have a great week, and remember how important each individual that you interact with is.